Okay, this is Unit 4, Study Guide, Objective 3. So, question number 9 tells us about the area of a triangle, and it gives you the formula right here. Okay, and it says if the height, which is the same thing as this h, is x, and the base is 4 more than twice the height, then find the area of the triangle. So, what I would do is I would write down the formula. Area equals 1/2 the base times the height. And it tells us that the height is x. So I would replace that with x. And then it says that the base is, or base is 4 more than twice the height. Well, height, we just said, was x. Okay? And what does twice the height mean? It means 2 times that. Okay? So that's really, this means 2x, right? And then 4 more than that. Well, more means you add something. So you're going to add 4. So B really stands for 2x plus 4. Well, if that's the case, then over here, it also means 2x plus 4. Okay? And so we can take, okay? So now, alright, well, what do we do with this half? Well, half, really ultimately, like we've said, means divide by 2. So we need to distribute this divide by 2 to everything, or you can think of it as what is half of 2x? Well, just 1x, right? And then what's half of positive 4? 2, right? So we have this x squared, and then this x right here. Well, this is distributive property. We can rewrite this if you'd like, so that it looks like this. This is using the commutative property to move stuff around when you multiply. Okay? So you're just distributing this x here. So you go x times x, which is x squared. And then you'll do x times positive 2, which is positive 2x. And so it brings down the area. And the area equals this. And remember, you're always going to go back and see what it asks you to find. And it says find the area of the triangle. Well, the area equals this. Volume, okay? Volume of a cube. Volume of a cube, or volume of a rectangular cylinder, is length times width times height. And the thing we know about a cube is it's like the 3D square. If this side is 2x minus 1, then this side is 2x minus 1, and so is this side. So all the sides of a cube have the length 2x minus 1. Well, if that's the case, then that means we have 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. Now it looks complicated, and what you'll end up having to do is multiply this 2 different times. First, we'll do this times that. Now I'm going to use the box method. Just note that if you don't use the box method, it's the distributive method, and you'll do it pretty much the same way, and you'll get it in the order of the top, going across like this, and then you'll combine your middle, just like we would do any other time we'd use the distributive property. So you do 2x times 2x, which is 4x squared. 2x times negative 1, which is negative 2x. Negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x, and negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. We look for our like term p-naught, and we have one. So you get 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. So these two things now become 4x squared minus 4x plus 1, okay? And we're still multiplying times the 2x minus the 1. So these two things became this thing, and now we have to continue to multiply this to all this, okay? And so you'll make another box. This time it's a 3 by 2. So I'm going to write 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. And then up here I'd have 2x and minus 1. Okay? 4 times 2 is 8. And then the x squared and 1 gives us x to the third, because there's 2 here and 1 there. And let me erase this, because that should not be here. Okay? And then you have 4 times negative 1, which is negative 4. There's 2 x's here and none here. You get x squared. Notice how it goes 3, 2. And then we'll go 2, 1, and then 1, 0. Negative 4 times negative times 2x is negative 8x. And then there's 1 and 1 make 2. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. And then there's 1x here. And no x is there, so there's just 1x. 1 times 2 is 2. And then you have an x. And then you have positive 1 times negative 1, which is negative 1. Okay? So now you look for your like term peanuts. And you have this diagonal right here. And then this diagonal right there. Okay? And so you should get 8x cubed. Negative 8 plus negative 4, they're same sign, so we'll actually add the numbers, and you get negative 12. And then they both have a square. And then you have 2 plus 2 plus 4, which is positive 6. And then they both have an x, 3, 2, 1, and then they're going to have the negative 1, which has no x. Okay? And then that becomes the final answer. Okay? Number 11 is the infamous garden problem. Okay? You read a whole lot of stuff in here. Okay? And it doesn't really tell you a whole lot of stuff until it says that the border will have the same width around the entire garden, and that we need to let x represent, which means x equals, or x is, the width of the border. Okay? So when you look at this, you look for the border. The border is the flowers that are white all the way around. So they're telling you that from here to here, it's going to be x. And that if it's the same all the way around, that's x. And that's x. And that's x. And that's x. Okay? And this is x. And this is x. And then don't want to forget about this little guy down here. This is x. So there's two ways that you can approach this question. I'll show you both ways. I'll do the first way down here and the second way over here. And you'll end up at the same answer, and it works just the same. So it says, write a polynomial expression that represents the area of the border. So they want just the border, not this piece. So this becomes an area of a shaded region. Okay? An area of a shaded region is the big area minus the small area. Okay? So we have x for here, and then this is 5 feet, and then this is x also. So we have 2 x's plus a 5. Okay? So that's the length is 2x plus 5. Okay? And then this side is x. This is 10, and this is x. So it's 2x's plus 10. That's the big. The small area is going to be really simple. You just do 5 times 10, which is 50. I'll go ahead and do that for you guys. No big deal. So, to find the area of the big, we need to do the box method. So you have 2x plus 10 on the top and 2x plus 5 on the side. Okay? And so 2 times 2 is 4, and there's x squared. 2 times 10 is positive 20, and then there's just an x. Okay? 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times 10 is 50. Okay? Alright? So, now you have the middle part, which is 10 times 20, which is 200. Oh, sorry. Back that up. It's not 10 times 20. It's 10x plus 20, which is 30 x's. Okay? And the 4x squared will come down, plus the 30, plus the 50. Okay? And so, you'll get 4x squared plus 30x plus 50. Okay? And then you'll look and see that we have a like term here with a like term here. And what's 50 minus 50? It's 0. So our final answer becomes 4x squared plus 30x. Now, the alternate way to do it is to, since we've drawn in all these x's all the way around, makes it really simple. You find the area of each box. X times x is x squared. Well, this is x times x, so it's also x squared. This is x squared. This is x squared. So how many x squareds do we have? We have 4 of these x squareds. Okay, we look here. Remember, this is 10, just like this is 10, all the way around. And this is x, and this is x. This is x, this is x. You have 10 times x, which is 10x, right? Well, it's going to be the same here. It's going to be 10x. So you have 10x plus 10x. That's 20x's, right? And then you look here in the purple. You have 5 feet here, right? 5 feet here, 5, 5. It's all 5 all through here. 5 times x is 5x. Well, if that's 5x, and that's 5 times x, that's 5x. You have 5x plus 5x, which is 10x. Okay? And so what's 20x's plus 10x's? 4x squared plus 30x. And we didn't even have to worry about what the middle was. So either way works. You can do it whichever method fits you the best. The last question is a consecutive integers question. So you read it, you see consecutive integers right there. You need to think, bam, I know I need to do this, or I need to do okay? And so now you look and say, oh, what's the difference? This is regular, and this is even or odd. Okay, which question do we have? It says odd right there, so then we don't need topic 1. So these are going to be the way our integers set up. We need 3 of them. Well, that's 1, 2, 3. And so we don't need any more than that, so we stop there. Okay? But just because it says this doesn't mean we go plus plus and add, because it doesn't say sum anywhere in here. Okay? So let's keep reading and then we'll figure out what it tells us to do with them. So it says the product of. Product of is a big word that means multiply. That's all it means. Multiply what? The 2 larger integers. Okay? Well, if you look here, our integers are here, 1, 2, and 3. Okay? The larger ones are going to be these. So we're going to multiply x plus 2 times x plus 4. Okay? And then it says is equivalent to, that means equals, big way of saying equals, the sum of the first integer squared and 98. The sum of means we're going to add. When you add two things together. It says the sum of what? The first integer squared. So we come over and we find our first integer. That's our first integer, and we're going to square it. So there's usually x and squared and 98. So you add 98 to the end of it. So now that we have that, we look and see how we solve it. So we have a binomial times a binomial. Well, that's the box method. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make my box. Okay, we got x plus 2 and x plus 4. X times x, x squared. X times positive 4, positive 4x. Positive 2 times x, positive 2x. And positive 2 times positive 4, positive 8. We have our like term peanut. So you get x squared. 2 plus 4 is positive 6x plus 8 equals x squared plus 98. Okay. Now, when we have an equation that looks like this, you always want to get your x's on the same side, so we need to move this over here with the other x's. So we have positive x squared over here, so we need to subtract x squared from both sides. Okay, x squared minus x squared is 0. What do you know? They canceled out. 6x plus 8 comes down equals, okay, the x squared's canceled out here, and then you had plus 98 over here. Well, if you look, this really is just a two-step equation now, and we don't need this plus sign because that's positive 98, and we know that by normal. So first thing you're going to do is subtract 8 from both sides. Okay, that cancels out. 6x comes down equals 98 minus 8 is 90. And then we're going to divide by 6. Divide by 6. Okay, and x will equal, well, 6 goes into 9 one time with the remainder 3. 3 and this makes 30. 30 divided by 6 is 5. So you get that x equals 15. Now, the question says, what are the integers? So it doesn't want to know what x equals. It wants to know what the integers are. Well, x stands for the first integer. The second integer is going to be 2 more than 15, which is 17. And the last one's going to be 4 more than 15, which is 19. Okay? So that's our final answer for question 12. And this concludes objective 3 from our study guide. Please look at the next video for the answers to questions 13 through 16.